I'm going to read a Texe Marrs article. Not many people take Texe Marrs seriously. They talk about him like he's a tabloid or something. But after I read the article, I'm going to show a video clip that proves the article is true. Okay. You can call it pure justice, a sign from God, or whatever you want, but eyebrows were sure raised recently during the tapings for Christian TV's The John Ankerberg Show. Ankerberg, a bitter opponent of the King James Bible, had wanted to do a series of TV programs in which the heads of the New Version Translation Committees would debate King James Bible advocates. He invited 5 New Version scholars, but only 3 King James advocates. Since Ankerberg is himself a fervent promoter of the NIV and other New Versions, that made the odds 6-3. But the 3 King James men, Dr. Joseph Chambers, Dr. Samuel Gipp, and Dr. Thomas Strauss, weren't deterred by the odds. They accepted John Ankerberg's invitation anyway, so they could get out their vital and important message that the King James Bible is the only trustworthy, accurate, scholarly, and whole Bible available in the world. The John Ankerberg programs are taped in advance in Chattanooga, Tennessee, and then shown later to a national TV audience. For the Bible version debate, 8 shows were taped. However, on one of these shows, Ankerberg and the New Bible version people were forced to call an abrupt halt right in the midst of taping. It happened when Ankerberg asked Dr. Don Wilkins of the New American Standard Version Translation Committee a key question. Is it true, asked Ankerberg, that a number of the scholars who worked on the new translation committees lost their voice as punishment by God? As the TV cameras captured the moment, Dr. Wilkins opened his mouth to answer, and nothing came out. No sound. Wilkins kept trying to clear his throat, but he couldn't respond. Ankerberg and the other New Version scholars were visibly startled. Finally, an embarrassed and frightened Wilkins was able to screech out in a cracking, almost inaudible manner, I've lost my voice. A shocked John Ankerberg ordered the cameras to stop and back up, whereupon Dr. Joseph Chambers politely protested. The cameras should record exactly what happened here, Chambers insisted. But Ankerberg was hearing none of it. After a brief delay, the TV cameras began to roll again, after the amazing segment of Dr. Wilkins losing his voice had conveniently been excised. Ankerberg had taped 8 programs in all, but after broadcasting only 2 of them, he pulled the others off the air and refused to continue the series. When we called his office to ask why, we were pointedly told that it was because the series was a financial flop. But I'm going to show a video which not only proves the article true, but proves what his real motive was for not airing the rest of the series. Now, there's a video clip someone put out on the internet that claims to be the part that this article is talking about, where Don Wilkins clears his throat. And they say, look, this article is a complete exaggeration. That's not how it happened. But that video clip that's going around the internet, it's not even from the same part of the debate. If you watch the whole debate and you know the chronology, it's not even from the same part of the debate, so don't fall for that. The part that's talked about in this article was edited out. It doesn't exist, and if anyone tells you it does, they're trying to trick you, or they didn't watch the whole debate. But I have the heavily edited final version that Ankerberg produced, which would have aired if he hadn't pulled it after the second episode. Here it is, right here. Here is a clip from the second attempt to film this segment. After he had regained his voice, they filmed it again, and this is the part which went into the final version.
Don, NASB, got anybody that's lost their voice, gone insane, died prematurely?
I've obviously not lost my voice. And, no, everybody I know is just fine.
Joe.
I'm going to play it again, several times.
Don, NASB, got anybody that's lost their voice, gone insane, died prematurely?
I've obviously not lost my voice. And, no, everybody I know is just fine.
Joe. Don, NASB, got anybody that's lost their voice, gone insane, died prematurely?
I've obviously not lost my voice. And, no, everybody I know is just fine.
Joe. Don, NASB, got anybody that's lost their voice, gone insane, died prematurely?
I've obviously not lost my voice. And, no, everybody I know is just fine.
Joe. Don, NASB, got anybody that's lost their voice, gone insane, died prematurely?
I've my voice. And, no.
He was trying to make a joke, and they laughed. Now, why would they laugh? You wouldn't get the joke unless you knew what happened in the first attempt to film the segment. Wilkins inadvertently proved what Ankerberg was trying to cover up. And what was Ankerberg going to say? Oh no, don't say that. Here, back up the camera again, because I don't want to prove this thing. No, then he'd look like a conspirator, which is what he is, but he didn't want to look like that, so he couldn't say anything. All he could do was make up an excuse to stop airing the show.
Got anybody that's lost their voice, gone insane, died prematurely?
I've my voice. And,
got anybody that's lost their voice, gone insane, died prematurely?
I've my voice. And,